Picture this for a second. What if one single geopolitical flashpoint suddenly just halted the global economy? I want you to imagine a complete disruption to the microchips that literally power your everyday life, a massive freeze on international trade, and the world's most powerful militaries all converging on one narrow stretch of water. I'm talking, of course, about the Taiwan Strait.
Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to neutrally unpack one of the absolute most complex and, frankly, consequential regions in the entire world, the Taiwan Strait. We're going to break down the history, the immense global stakes, and what the future might actually hold for this critical waterway.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the global geopolitical flashpoint, move on to understanding the historical divide, look at exactly why Taiwan matters globally, untangle the diplomatic balancing act, walk through 5 potential future scenarios, and finish up with the global ripple effect.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, the global geopolitical flashpoint and the rising tensions in the Strait.
So right now, tensions between China and Taiwan are at levels we honestly haven't seen in decades. This friction is being driven by some really intense military exercises. We're talking sometimes dozens of fighter jets mobilized in a single day, along with ongoing diplomatic disputes, and just the broader, growing strategic competition between the US and China.
Moving to Section 2, understanding the historical divide and how we actually got here.
Okay, so to really understand today's headlines, we have to put on our geopolitical detective hats and rewind back to 1949. That's the year the Chinese Civil War ended. The Communist Party established the People's Republic of China over on the mainland, while the nationalist government, the Republic of China, retreated to Taiwan. And ever since that massive split, that 1949 division, has evolved into the incredibly complex dynamic of self-governance versus reunification that we see today.
Because of that history, today we're dealing with 2 very distinct political realities. Beijing's view is that Taiwan is an inseparable part of China, and they see reunification as an official national objective. Taiwan's reality, on the flip side, is that it operates as a self-governing democracy. It has its own government, its own military, currency, and elections. Grasping this specific friction is absolutely crucial to understanding the entire region.
Which brings us to Section 3, why Taiwan matters globally. Let's look at geography, trade, and tech.
First up, geography. It's all about location, right? Taiwan sits perfectly right in the middle of what's called the First Island Chain. This is a highly strategic line of islands stretching all the way from Japan down through the Philippines. Basically, whoever controls this specific area essentially dictates military access and maritime power across the entire Western Pacific.
And then there's global trade. Get this, nearly 50%, almost half of all the world's container shipping passes through the waters right near Taiwan. So any disruption here, it wouldn't just be a localized issue. It would immediately bottleneck international supply chains all over the globe.
But arguably the biggest factor, technology. Taiwan is the undisputed heavyweight champion of advanced semiconductor manufacturing. Through giants like TSMC, they pump out over 60% of the world's standard semiconductors and a staggering 90% of the most advanced microchips. These are the chips that power the smartphone in your pocket, they drive the whole AI revolution, they're critical for life-saving medical equipment, and they are absolutely essential for auto and military systems. A major conflict here would quite literally unplug the modern world.
Now for Section 4, the diplomatic balancing act, the delicate global dance.
So how does the US handle all of this? Well, it's a bit of a masterclass in diplomatic gymnastics, known as strategic ambiguity. Officially, Washington recognizes the People's Republic of China, but unofficially, under the Taiwan Relations Act, the US maintains very close ties with Taiwan and provides defensive equipment. It's this incredibly delicate balance between deterrence and diplomacy. And hey, it's definitely not just the US keeping a close watch. Global players, Japan, Australia, various European nations, they are all laser-focused on this too. They consistently emphasize that maintaining peace and stability in the Strait is just an absolute necessity as strategic competition keeps growing. Let's look at Section 5, 5 potential future scenarios, and what happens next.
Experts who watch this region 24/7 are actively monitoring 5 potential paths. First is a continued status quo. This is the most likely near-term outcome. The pressure continues, but actual conflict is avoided. Second is increased military pressure, like stepping up naval deployments but stopping short of action. Third is economic pressure, maybe through trade restrictions. Fourth is the one everyone hopes for, diplomatic progress and renewed dialogue. And finally, number 5, military conflict, That is the most dangerous outcome and one that carries just massive geopolitical and humanitarian consequences.
Finally, Section 6, the global ripple effect and why it matters to you.
If a crisis were to hit, it would trigger a devastating economic domino effect across the board. Just look at the major sectors. Financial markets, we'd see significant, wild volatility. The technology sector would face immediate and severe supply shortages. Shipping and trade routes would become an absolute logistical nightmare. And for everyday folks, energy and manufacturing disruptions would mean rising prices globally on almost everything.
Because of those massive global risks, the consensus among the UN and world governments is crystal clear. Peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait are in everyone's interest. The overwhelming international priority right now is focused squarely on dialogue, restraint, and preventing any kind of escalation.
Ultimately, the future of this flashpoint isn't just about one single issue. It's this intricate, overlapping web shaped by history, national identity, military strategy, economics, and diplomacy. There are absolutely no simple solutions here, only highly careful, ongoing management.
Which leaves us with this final, really critical question to ponder. Will continued dialogue and restraint prevail, or is the global economy standing on the edge of a geopolitical cliff? The sheer fragility of our interconnected world means every single one of us has a profound stake in the answer. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll catch you next time.